Hi, my name is Nicholas. Welcome to this week's Ian practice. For props for today, the main one will be a wall and the largest wall space that you can get. And you can place your mat right up against it. Also, a couple hard blocks and a soft block will be handy. And then the stretches that we'll do up against the wall, you could also do in the middle of the room if you don't have a wall space. I'll invite you to get started in any comfortable seated position. And if for any reason this doesn't work for you, feel free to find child's pose, or you could start lying down on the back as well. You might sit up off one of your props to make the shape feel a little more effortless. And then just take your time to set up and find the version of the shape that feels the most calm and steady for today. Notice the parts of the body that are touching the floor, gently ground them down. And when it feels okay to close down the eyes, then go for it. Let's start to check in with the body here. Check in to see if there's any part of the body that maybe feels a little extra sensitive today or needs a little extra care or attention. Notice if there's any part of the body that feels some tension. Maybe it feels like something's holding there. And then anything you don't need here, see if you can invite it to soften a little bit. Supported by your props or the wall. Finding a sense of softness where you can. And if you need a little more time in stillness, you're welcome to stay exactly as you are for as long as it serves you. When you feel ready, we'll set up for the second shape. We'll set up for a squat pose, so you can still be up against the wall. Take the feet nice and wide apart. And then straight away you can make yourself a seat with your blocks, using as many as you need. And you could keep the low back up against the wall. You can also check in here and see if maybe you'd rather have a prop underneath the heels. If the heels are lifting, it's not a bad thing, but if it feels uncomfortable in the body, then add a little extra support. Maybe you want the hands into prayer. You can also leave the hands down to the floor. And find your version of the shape. And if anything feels a little fidgety, feel free to find some movement first, and then come and find your stillness after. Check in here, and when you're ready, you can gently release your feet out from under you. It might feel nice to give them a windshield wiper side to side. You can also extend the legs, maybe tap the backs of the knees or swish the feet. And then if you're on any props, you can come off of them. We're going to set up to take the legs up the wall. So I like to keep a soft block right in the middle of the mat, and then come and find like a fetal position up against it. Get your bum as close to the wall as you can, and then torso facing away from the wall. And then lying down on one side, you can swing the legs up towards the ceiling. And then just take your time. You might need to wriggle around a little bit. Find the positioning that feels best. And if using the soft block doesn't work, then feel free to use something else instead. If you need a little more height, you could do a hard block with the soft block on top, or you could also roll up a blanket or something like that. And take your time here. Once you find something that feels comfortable for the back, check in to see if maybe the head needs a little extra padding or something else. And then from here, we'll play with taking the legs nice and wide apart. So you can start to open the legs up and then see where they want to go. It's likely that, you'll stop somewhere along the way, and then maybe after a little while, they want to open further. If you feel like you need to support the legs, then maybe use your hard blocks somewhere near the thighs. And sometimes having something to rest into can let those inner groin muscles soften a little further. Make sure it feels like a pain-free expression. And then see what you'd like to do with the arms. You could have them out wide or to the floor overhead. And the hands behind the head interlaced or somewhere on the body. And when you're ready, you come and find your stillness here. And see if you'd benefit from a little more time here. You're welcome to stay. And then see how you'd like to come out of this shape. I find using the arms to slowly lift the legs a little bit. And once your legs come up, see what feels good. It might be nice to pause. You could also bring the knees into the chest, maybe take the arms around them. I'm pausing here for a few breaths. You could also take the feet a little wider, maybe knees together as a counter stretch. Windshield wiper. And take the next 8 to 10 breaths wherever you need stillness or movement. And wherever you are, as you feel ready, you can start to re-extend the legs up towards the ceiling. You can adjust the prop that's under your back or anything else that you need here. We'll set up a figure 4 shape, so you can take the right leg, bend the knee, right ankle just below the left knee. And if this forces you to hyperextend the left leg, then you might also add a prop behind the knee just to keep it slightly bent. And check in here again, making sure it feels like a pain-free expression. You can create a little resistance with the right hand. If the right knee is coming towards you, just kind of keeping it in place, targeting that right hip stretch. If you'd like a little more intensity, you could also think about bending that left knee a little bit deeper. Just move nice and slow here. If it helps to keep the right foot flexed to help the right knee stay steady, then go for it. And then find a place that feels sustainable, somewhere that you can still breathe long, deep breaths, and then pause here. If the left knee is bent, gently start to re-extend it, and then gently release that right leg. If anything needs a little shake out, then go for it. And then when you're ready, we'll set that up on the second side. So bending the left knee in, maybe supporting it with the left hand, maybe some padding behind the right knee. Or if you did so on the first side, see how it feels to start to bend that right knee gently, finding your pain-free stretch here. When you're ready, gently start to re-extend the right leg up, and then re-extend the left. Give the feet a little swish side to side. All right, and then when you're ready, you can move your other props out of the way. I would suggest taking the soft block out from under you as well, but listen to your body and do whatever you need to do. We're going to set up for a twist here, so you might take the hips a little bit over towards the left, and then slowly let the legs start to come down towards the right. You could either keep both legs extended, or if it feels better, you can bend the right knee, and then just see where you end up here. So you could have, bend the left knee. So you could have the left knee up against the wall. You could even maybe step it to the floor in front. See what this feels like through the left side of the body and take whichever option feels best. Arms nice and wide might be nice. If you need an extra prop underneath the left shoulder, then go for it. And then when you're ready, find your stillness here. And if the shape stops feeling good, or if you need to modify, you can always do that. As you feel ready to come up, I suggest coming up one leg at a time, bringing the left leg towards the ceiling. You can use the arms for support, and then you can bring the right leg up as well. If your bum has shifted away from the wall, you might take a moment to scooch it in a little bit, and then from here, take the hips over towards the right a little bit. And again, one at a time, you can start to let the legs lower down towards the left, maybe landing on a prop, maybe one at a time. And then see how this feels. Either the legs stacked or that right knee bent this time. And check in with the spine to see if it needs any extra support or maybe something for the shoulders. When you're ready, come and find your stillness. As you feel ready, one at a time, you can start to lift the legs back up. And then take a check-in here. Maybe windshield wiper, maybe you pause with the knees in towards the chest, and take whatever you need. As you're ready, the last shape we'll take is Shavasana. So one option is to take legs up, straight up towards the ceiling. And again, you can bring a soft block underneath the pelvis if you need extra support. You could also take Shavasana lying down on the back, or you can come to rest in any other comfortable symmetrical shape. So listen to your body, take your time to set yourself up, add in any props that you need wherever you need them. And then when you're ready, come and find your rest and your stillness. And gently bring your attention back to the space and take a few deep breaths here. And as you feel ready, gently wiggle the fingers and the toes. Whether you have the legs up the wall or the legs extended in Shavasana, gently start to collect the knees back in your chest. You might wrap the arms around the shins and take a pause here. Give yourself a gentle rock side to side. If you'd like to visit Happy Baby for a few breaths, you can reach between the knees, catch hold of the feet. You can leave them down or bring them to point up towards the ceiling. And again, it might be stillness or some gentle movement. And then when you feel ready, you can bring the knees back in and roll down to one side and take a couple of breaths here. And as you're ready, supporting yourself with your hands, gently come up to find any comfortable seated position. You can use any of your props for support. As you pause in your seat, take a scan through the body just to notice, check in. And then perhaps connecting the hands at the heart and bowing the chin towards the chest. And thank you for sharing your practice today. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for Yin practice. And my name is Nicholas. If you have any questions, please reach out and enjoy the rest of your day.